We are just weeks away from the presidential election, and there are a lot of negative ads bashing the candidates on television. So coming up next, how you can explain politics to your kids. Welcome back, everyone. With just over 2 weeks until Election Day, emotions are running high nationwide in anticipation of selecting who will lead our country for the next 4 years. With most national elections, advertising becomes a central focus of the candidates' campaigns. Now, this past primary, we saw the most negative advertising campaigns in our country's history. While adults understand that this form of advertising is just a part of the political process, children may be confused as to why the candidates seem so angry with each other or wonder why adults are so concerned about the election in general. Well, joining us this morning, licensed social worker and Daniel CEO Jim Clark is here to help us navigate all those issues. Yeah. How do you even begin to explain that to a child who's like, what's wrong with these people?
Well, one of the things that's wonderful to live in this country where we can actually determine the political future. You know, what they did in 2008, they did a survey and they found out kids were really as concerned. So they saw about the voting. Lots of times people don't know that kids are as concerned, and they know that the impact of those votes will infect them. So it's really important, I think, for families to get involved. And one of the most important things is to communicate. And regardless of if your politics is in your home or not, the kids will hear it on TV, they'll see it in social media, etc. So it's important to communicate and talk about politics, I think, at home. Along with that, one of the things that you also want to do is you want to stay balanced. Children are like sponges. They're going to pick up everything in which you say. So you got to be careful of those words and things that you use. But it's really important for kids to know what your opinions are, but to also be able to articulate that. And so that's what you want to do, is kind of teach them those type of things.
Yeah, I want to touch on that because I know as adults it can get really heated. Mm-hmm. You can go back and forth. And like you said, kids are sponges. You kind of have to watch how you express your opinions. Do you have any advice for parents on that?
Yes, indeed. I think that, remember, every child, I think, in America wants to be president of the United States. Or you're taught by that elementary school teacher, you could be president of the United States. The last thing you want kids to do is to see that office, and when you start to hear things like they're liars and terrible for America and everything else. So what you want to do is make sure that your kids understand the difference between opinions and trying to persuade. And try to let them know, let's try to articulate how we feel. Why do we feel this way about our candidate? What you want to do is accentuate the positive in terms of why you think that candidate is better, and then get them to talk about that as well. The really important thing to do is to encourage children to be respectful. One of the things we're doing is setting an example for the future. And so when we hear all these things on TV and things, one of the things we want our children to do is understand you can express your opinion, but be respectful. Do it with courage, strength, and conviction, but respect the other individual. I think that's a great opportunity for us to teach our children.
Awesome. So last points, if you're a parent and you're thinking about having this conversation, when an ad comes on, it could be any moment.
I think number one is always keep it positive about your candidates. Say why you want your candidates. Be reassuring for kids, because one of the things they hear is all this negative, hey, the country's going to be great regardless of who the next president's going to be. And set the example. Cast your vote. Show your children that this is the greatest political system in the world, and if you can, take them with you when you do that vote, because that's setting the example for our future.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jim, for joining us.
Thank you.
And if you'd like more information on kids and politics, all you have to do is log on to danielkids.org or our website, news4jax.com.